Hello, Facebook fans, YouTube fans of DX Engineering. It is Tuesday afternoon. We're talking field day here with George, K3GP. George, one of our longtime DX Engineering sales professionals and over 60 years worth of experience in the hobby. George, how are you?
Good. How about you, Tim?
Good, good. George, what are you hearing about field day? What are guys asking about for getting ready for field day?
Well, there's a lot of things to take into consideration, and certainly getting the antenna structures up is very important and critical in getting it done in time, but getting it done safely. You got to be out there prepared with enough help to do it. And if you have access to hard hats for all, please, for all intents and purposes, make sure you have hard hats and safety gear.
You know, and the safety gear is really important. The hard hats, having a ground stake for the generator, things like that. But, several clubs that I'm a member of locally here, George, they've said no more towers. Everything we have to do, we're just going to do with push-up masts or maybe, bow and arrow over the tree kind of thing. So how effective, like vertical antennas and dipole antennas, how effective are they for field day?
Well, they can be pretty well. I operate with P cars here in Northeast Ohio, and we do CW with inverted Vs at the top of military masting. And talk about safety, we did have a failure of one of the sections of military mast about 4 or 5 years ago, and thank goodness the ground crew had hard hats on. But those inverted Vs, and we have several verticals, have worked out extremely well. And seems like year after year, 40 meters is the money band.
It is, whether you're in Northeast Ohio or in Texas and even California, 40 meters is really a workhorse. And how about 20 meters? I mean, with the sunspots that we have during the day, 20 meters can get quite short, which is really nice.
Absolutely. And then 10 and 15 meter openings that we didn't have 4 or 5 years ago are possibilities this year.
And guys really need to tune in, because when the bands open on 10, last weekend on 6 meters, there was coast to coast openings. So you would think that the 10 could be really good for field day operation. But George, let's talk about the simple antennas, the quick and simple antennas that guys can put up and have a lot of fun with.
Well, certainly we have the DX Engineering dipole kits now that make life a lot easier. They're simple to put up. You can get them up in the air in short order and get operational. One of the problems we've had years ago is getting everything up and operational before the 2 p.m. start time, or 2 p.m. here in Ohio anyhow.
Right. So the, and of course, most field day groups start 24 hours before the start of field day. So maybe at 2 p.m. Eastern time on Friday, start the setup. And that's, being safe is really, really important. How about staying away from power lines, George?
Oh, absolutely. You have to be awfully careful. It's just a lethal combination there, just waiting to happen. And people sometimes don't pay enough attention. They're raising a vertical, not realizing they have their back to a power line. Be careful out there.
Yeah, you really just have to stay clear of all power lines, regardless of the voltage. Just stay away from them. Let's go to the chat room and see some of the guys are talking about field day here. Rodney, Alpha Echo 5 Tango X-Ray, he said, great to see you both. I will be at my club's go-to station. That's Get on the Air. And not bad for my only second field day. So, Rodney, this is great that you're coming back for more after you did one last year. And AE5 Tango X-Ray is his new call sign as of 2:45 a.m. this morning. Rodney, congratulations. I really like that call sign. That's going to be a great call sign. Hopefully you're going to use that in field day. And November 4, Queen Mike, he says, Bubba, he says, look for a field day group around here. So he's going to be on the path taking a look. Donnie, Kilo Kilo 4 Echo Kilo Kilo. Thank you, George, for a good video. And Donnie is here from Tennessee. Our friend Steve, he says, it's too hot in South Texas for field day, 103 degrees. George, how much water do you have to drink to deal with 103 degrees?
You have to hydrate like crazy. And years ago, I ended up getting us a utility trailer, so we're at least in out of the sun and have some cool air blowing. One of these days, I'm going to get air conditioning installed in there.
Well, Rodney says that they just use a push-up mast or end-fed half-wave dipoles with a master tree support only here in Dallas-Fort Worth. So staying off the towers, temporary towers can be problematic, especially like you say, George, with the guy wires, etc. Our friend Brian, W7 Juliet Echo Tango, he says the Superstition ARC uses wires and trees. 40 meters and 20 meters are usually our pipelines. So those are the two hot bands. They run 4 alpha, which is the same as what you guys run, George,
Absolutely.
right? 4 alpha. And they have 3 phone stations and 1 CW station. So, Brian, look forward to.
That's our competition.
What was that, George?
That's our competition. We do well in 4A, and even though field day is not a contest, you definitely look at the results when November comes and they're published. There
you go. Watch out for K8 Bravo Foxtrot. Rodney says there'll be 5A with the GOTA station and VHF stations, and 2 on SSB, 2 on CW, and 1 digital. And Brian says the call this year for Superstition is Kilo 7 Kilo. So, George, be on the lookout for K7K. It sounds like they're going to have a great time. And it could be hot in Arizona, too.
Absolutely.
It could be really, really hot. George, what about, operating in the middle of the night? How does that go at KPF?
It goes pretty well. Again, one of the things we do, and you talk about guidelines, we have these chemical luminescent tubes that we put on the guidelines so people don't trip over them. And you talk about night time operation. My very first field day in the 70s, the guys that were operating CW taped fluorescent tubes to the bottom of the inverted V, and they were flashing on and off with a CW. And pretty soon the police showed up because one of the neighbors apparently had been watching Close Encounters of the Third Kind at that time and thought maybe a spaceship had landed.
Well, those field day stories are always good. We've got Kilo Lima 7 Alpha Delta Victor is on Alaska Ham Radio Adventures Club. They'll have 3 stations using the VA6 Alpha mic bandpass filters to a hex beam antenna. And, of course, we've got those bandpass filters in stock. And Rob is on Kilo Delta 8 Yankee Whiskey Fox. I use my fixed station with the DX Commander. And so that's what Rob's going to use for field day. And we've got K5 Tango Golf Sierra, part of the DX engineering team in down near Dallas, Texas. Good to have you on, Tim. And Carrie is on from White Pigeon, Michigan. Kilo Echo 8 Radio Yankee. Our friend Dan from Kentucky, WA4 Mike Oscar Mike. I hope the weather turns out good for field day. And Brian says Kilo 7 Kilo will be set up at a place called Happy Jack at a cool 7,000 feet above sea level. We have had below freezing temperatures overnight in years past. This beautiful 40-acre plot in the middle of Arizona. They're going to have a great time. I'm sure of that. But George, now who is responsible for all of the logs and getting everything together for submission to the RRL? Because it's got to get in pretty quick.
Absolutely. We have a guy that's been doing that for an awful lot of years, and he's also one of our DX engineering acquaintances. That's Parky. And he does a bang up job of getting that done every year and in time. And he makes sure all the T's are crossed, the I's are dotted, and he finds every possible legal point that we can score.
Well, that's great. It's always good. It's good to have a safety officer. That's what he does, is make sure that everything is safe, and then somebody who's in charge of getting the logs and the submission to ARRL headquarters. And we've got our friend Tim, November Lima 7 Delta, is on with us as well. Well, George, thanks so much for coming on today. And how about the reminder on getting your orders in before field day?
Absolutely. It's you're a little bit late already, but DX Engineering prides itself on shipping very quickly. So there is time. You got about 10 days, and take inventory of what you need, get those orders in so we can get them out to you, and you have everything in time for field day.
Great advice. George, thanks again, and hope everybody has a safe field day. I do want to, Jacob is on here, Kilo Juliet 5 India Zulu Sierra, and also our friend Brady. He's excited to operate with the K3MJW Skyview Club at Whiskey 3 Bravo Radio Lima is Brady's call. Brady, good to have you on, and hope you have a good time on field day. Everybody have a good time and a safe time, and we'll see you next time here at DX Engineering. Until then, 73.
Don't forget the deep woods off and your sunscreen.